I've been roaming around, always looking down at all I see. You know that I could use somebody, someone like you. You Somebody, Kings of Leon, still a banger today even though it's old. Hi everyone, I know it's almost the end of the month already, the end of March, and many of you have probably been waiting for this episode to release. And I do apologize for the delays, but rest assured that this episode is releasing in the month of March, so I can say that I've still uploaded technically monthly. Discretion though, because of my hectic schedule this month, I am recording this during the day. I know the title is Late Night Talks with Ray, but scheduling wise, it just didn't work out. Without any other further delays, let's get right into it. So, if you can remember from last month's episode, I did mention that I had a surprise to share with you guys once it's become more official regarding my working situation. There's another opportunity that did take place during the month, but I don't want to talk about it too much, or I'm not too sure how much I can talk about it. But what I'm going to say is I will expound on it more in detail in the next episode. So while it may not be a big leap forward, it is one small step into the door that might lead to something greater down the road. So yes, I am officially working as a casual staff member at La Trobe University. Now, I know there have been a lot of news and controversy regarding casual staff members at the university, so you might ask, why are you working there? To be honest with you, it's one of the better and greater opportunities that I've received while searching for jobs, and because this is work that I've done previously with La Trobe before, so I opted to work for them for the time being until I find myself somewhere else later down the road. So for this casual role, I work under one of the research divisions and I help write content for their website. My job is to work with my supervisor and communicate with academics as well to promote their research and draw in an audience that can relate the audience to the research and to their daily lives. Because most of this research, believe it or not, actually has a large role to play in the lives that we live today. But so much of the information is very technical that there's no real relation or connection to build that bridge. So my job is to build that bridge. Now, for my second job, I'd like to thank one of my longtime friends for helping me get this opportunity. I'm not going to name him personally here in this video, but you know who you are. So if you are watching this video, I would just like to say thank you so much, man. So for this casual job, I work for an organization that helps out with events and functions that are happening around in Melbourne. And originally the role that I had applied for was a setup crew. Keep in mind, I have zero experience in hospitality. I told them I'd be interested to take the role of food and beverage attendees, but with training. Now, to start off, so I made sure that I planned accordingly, that I arrived at least half an hour before my scheduled shift, which I did. And upon arriving at the venue, I found one of the workers, and my manager there said hi, introduced myself, and then put on my apron and stuff like that. And then, you know, I started looking around the venue and realized that all the setup's been done, but I thought I was going to be on the setup crew, yeah? So I talked to one of my coworkers who was the bartender that night. And I was like, so are we still setting up? And he's like, oh no, setup's been done. We're going to be on food and beverages. Nani? And I told him, I just wanted to let you know that I have zero experience in hospitality before. I've never done this thing before. So I'm so sorry, but could you please help me out today? So yes, I was tasked to serve the guests before the event started with water. So I took the tray of water. I was told how to hold it properly, you know, balancing it, supporting the tray on the bottom with your left hand, and then supporting it on the side with your right hand, and then balancing out the water and handing it out to people outside, which I did. And surprisingly, I didn't drop anything there. So I was really impressed at how I did. I was obviously very nervous at that time, but I was impressed that I passed that initial part. And then I was tasked to serve the appetizers to the guests. And at that point, I've kind of gotten the hang of how to hold and serve food or drinks in a matter of 45 minutes. So I just banked on how I felt and what I felt worked best during that situation, and just did what I could, and it worked out okay. And at that point, I was a bit surprised at myself of how I was performing despite no training and no experience whatsoever, just really based off what I've seen on YouTube and what I've seen on TV. And so thankfully at this point of the night, I haven't dropped any glasses so far, and in my mind I'm like, okay, as long as we can keep this repertoire going, this reputation going without dropping any glasses, I should be okay. I wish I hadn't said that in my mind, because those were the famous last words, and this is, I would say, the climax of the evening. And so I was walking along a table. One gentleman pulled me aside and he was like, "Can I please have 4 champagnes and 2 white wine, please?" And then I told him, "Oh, absolutely, I'll go to the bar and grab that for you." So I go to my coworker and I ask him for the 4 champagnes and 2 white wine glasses. Lo and behold, my friend, the bartender, put everything on my tray, and I carefully and gently, got it off the bar and started walking. 2 or 3 steps after I walked around the bar, I started to feel my left hand, which was supporting the tray from underneath, starting to tremble. And in my mind, I was like, oh no. And I have my right hand supporting the tray on the side. Mind you, I've been working for around 4 hours straight at this point, running around, doing this for the first time, learning, etc. And I'm just pretty much extremely exhausted. I took another step, and my left hand pretty much gave way. It just trembled. And 2 of the champagne glasses went off the tray. The other remaining glasses fell onto the tray, and all the alcohol poured. My worst fear has occurred. And surprisingly enough, my manager, one of my coworkers were very helpful, and immediately came in to help me out, clean up my mess. And I tried not to panic. I think I didn't panic, but I think in reality I did. But yeah, that was the climax of my shift that evening, and it definitely was the highlight of the evening, but also the biggest learning experience for me. So everything that night, the day after, the morning after, just felt like a fever dream, and it didn't feel true. I felt like the whole thing was a dream. Reflecting on the events of that evening, as horrid as my initial feelings were at that time, I still think that I would definitely do it again and take up the challenge, because it has kind of unlocked that part of me that doesn't want to leave that standard that low. I want to show that I can improve and that I can, be a better hospitality worker, despite the fact that I didn't have any training and any experience prior to that first shift. For you anime fans out there, you can say it is the start of my protagonist arc of becoming the best and most professional hospitality worker out there. I know it's a large competition, but at least in my company, I will see how I can do. If I'm not fired by the time of the recording of this video, I'll be working for the same company again for one very major event taking place in Melbourne next month in April. And let me give you a hint. It's something like this. So I hope you've enjoyed episode 3 of this series. Please be sure to hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and the subscribe button as well. Thank you so much for watching, and catch you all in the next episode.